So we retired, sort of.
Yay!
No beaches, no world trips, just two ex teachers trying to remember what day it is and figuring out how retirement actually feels for us.
Yeah. So we moved back to the UK after living in the US for 15 years and with a plan. Our first 6 months
Mhm.
were going to be a practice retirement. Um, let's see if it's everything that we imagined it would be
Yeah,
and reveal what's inspired us and exactly what we planned.
exactly. What were our expectations and what is the actual reality?
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
So we've unpacked all the boxes, and the kettle's been on several times. So let's see how this practice retirement is going so far.
Yeah, see if it's what's been a
Yeah,
challenge, maybe some things we've learned along the way.
I think so.
So we've broken this down into a couple of
Yeah,
sections. Our first one we're going to talk about is the pace of our life now.
that's right. Yeah. Initially, our expectations was it would be finally nice to relax and sit down,
Yeah, slow down a bit.
slow down. Yeah.
Yeah. And the reality is we have,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah. Sort of.
Because obviously, the beginning, the landing part,
Yeah.
was quite busy, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
hectic and moving a couple of times from an
Yeah.
Airbnb to the flat we're in. But I have to say, having to get up for 5 o'clock in the morning is a nice thing. And you may be wondering why we're getting up at such a ridiculous hour. Well, it's because school in the US started a lot earlier. So
Yes.
to get ready for the day, we had to get up early.
I will put in here though that he was getting up at 5 a.m. I was maybe getting up at 5:30. I am not a very good person in the morning.
Actually, my alarm was going for 4:35, but that's another story.
Anyway, we don't have to do those early mornings anymore. In
Yeah.
fact, when we do wake up, it is nice just to have a slow morning.
Yeah, because we don't have to be well, most days.
Yeah,
Caveat: most days we don't have to be anywhere, so we can
yeah.
take it easy.
And then when we do have to do things, again, we have no panic.
Yeah,
We can just be leisurely taking our time, which is really nice. It's like we don't have any deadlines. We don't have to do something, squeeze it all into a
yeah.
weekend because we're not, tired during because we haven't worked the day.
A couple of times when we've done our big shop on a Monday, or of that like, um, we've been a little late and run into rush hour traffic on the
Yeah,
way back,
yeah.
but it's not a
No,
big
no need
deal
to panic.
because if you want to lie in the morning, you can have a lie in.
Exactly, and you can actually enjoy the activities.
Yeah.
You're not just we have. I mean, we do have a list when we shop, but we can stop. We can check out some section we haven't checked out before.
Hmm.
We just don't have to rush through any of these activities anymore.
And if we did have something to do and we didn't get around to doing it, there's no panic because we can always find the time to do it now.
Exactly. There's always tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's reality expectation pretty much met.
Yeah, that one, the first one, the pace of life has really hit what we were looking for,
Yeah.
hasn't it?
The second is well, I'm calling it money mindset.
And this has been really tough for you.
Really tough.
Yeah.
So obviously the expectation there was we made the plan, we saved the money, now we can just go ahead and relax and spend it and enjoy.
And the reality of that is, yes, it is.
And we did enjoy spending.
Oh gosh, yeah, but not having a regular income, you start to see that money
Right, and
start to drop down, and that's a big thing to get your head around, really.
it's a
Isn't it?
massive adjustment, and I think it's one
Yeah.
of the adjustments that is hardest for a lot of people in retirement. And I
Yeah.
know because there's been books and things about this
Mhm.
that, and it's one of the reasons as well that some people would put off retiring is because they don't think they have enough money, or
Yeah.
they don't think that they could um, live a non-worried life, knowing that there's no money to replace the money that you have that you're using up.
And
You're watching the bank go this way, bank accounts go this way instead of this way.
again, if you're a regular viewer, you know of our circumstances. So we are lucky in many ways when it comes to saving money and spending money, that
Right.
we're just concentrating on ourselves and the cat.
Yeah. So, and then now that we had to spend, we had to set up everything again.
Furniture and
Yeah, furniture, and we had to buy a car, and all those
white
things,
goods.
pots and pans, sheets, towels.
Yeah.
So we did have to spend some money. So we kind of got the whole yay from spending, but now we're on a fixed budget. We're
Yeah.
on a fixed budget, and we need to make sure that we can maintain that, because otherwise it's going to kind of
It's the
risk.
whoa Nelly of
It's going to risk
a fixed budget.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to risk the actual retirement in the first place, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the bit that I am finding hard to adjust to. Most of the time I'm fine, but sometimes I'm like, there's no money to replace this, which is wrong, because I did the whole spreadsheet. I know that there's money to replace it. It's just not that kind of, usual salary month to month thing, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The third thing is another difficult thing that affects many people when they enter retirement or practice retirement like us, and that's the changes to your daily routine and to your own personal identity as well.
Right.
You've often people have worked 30, 40, maybe 50 years, and suddenly you don't have to anymore.
So the expectation here was, no more work, so therefore no more work stress.
Exactly.
And now we have time to either, just do what we want, or we can be more active, or we can, start putting the things that, doing the things we wanted to do. And, take time for ourselves, I suppose, is really the big thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So the reality of that is somewhat mixed,
this one is
really,
a bit tricky, hasn't it? Because again, we don't have the work stress. We'll agree with that.
No, that's true.
We don't have the work stress, but initially, as we said, with the spending of the money, we had to reestablish ourselves. So I would say the first 2 months were really quite busy, weren't they?
Well, it got a bit giddy going in. I mean, the credit cards were glowing. They were being spent that much with the heat. You could feel the heat coming off them. Mr. IKEA did very well out of us.
He did.
Those first few months. But as we've settled down and we've got step by step doing the different things to re-establish ourselves in the UK, getting our driving license renewed and all the insurances, things have started to settle down into a more normal and regular pace of life.
Right. The big to-do list that we have has mostly been done.
Yeah.
So now it's just day-to-day living. What does that look like?
Yeah.
And I think, and we'll talk about this at the end when we give a bit of advice, but I think that we realized after maybe a couple of weeks that we are not good with just absolute freedom. Are we?
No, because it's something you're conditioned into all your life. You go to school, you work at school.
Right.
You get a job, you work at your job. In our case, it was working at school again. So it sounds like we're stuck in a rut. But you are used to routines and having to do things at a certain time and certain expectations of you.
Right. And you don't realize when you're living that life how much of your time is just prescribed by other things.
Yeah, and how conditioned you are into that, into that system.
So we both knew that, again, as if you've been following us, we have been planning this for a long time. So we both individually, separately, kind of had our own ideas of what we thought this time was going to look like.
And this is where we went slightly awry.
We didn't talk to each other.
Yes.
So whenever we wanted to do those separate, personal things, we actually felt guilty.
Yeah, because we weren't spending this new free time with one another.
Right. And so we realized pretty soon that we actually needed a routine. We didn't need to have a massive routine, but we needed to, and me personally, I'm not good without a plan. I'm not I'm kind of a little bit okay with, let's wake up and not have anything to do today.
Yeah.
But, for somebody, as you were saying, for somebody who would go to bed with a list of things to do before she went to sleep, and then wake up with a list of things to do before she got out of bed. This is very new territory.
And this has
for
never
me.
been a problem to me. But I don't know about routine. Routine sounds like, very regimented. I think it's more of a structure,
right?
than
Yes.
than a routine. But it's we've got into a place where we're
Yeah.
working with it now, aren't we?
So the things that we wanted to do with our time, well, you can talk about your thing.
Well, I've always had a leaning towards creative writing, and I always wanted to write. And the good excuse not to do it was, I just don't have the time.
Right. You find easy ways to
Yeah.
procrastinate, don't you, when you have other
And
stuff going on?
now I don't, and now I'm 50,000 words into a novel. So it's amazing what you can do when you have the time.
And I wanted to focus in really on my health. I have been wanting to do this for a while, to a point where I am actually, little announcement, I'm going to be starting a little solo playlist in our channel, if anybody's
I pretended
interested.
to look shocked then, as
Yeah.
if I didn't know. So you're going off. She's forming her own band, breaking the band up.
Now, I just to talk through the changes that I'm making. It is obviously not going to be for everybody, and if you don't want to follow me, you don't have to. But I really am taking the time to focus on looking after my health as somebody who. I won't spoil it. There's a lot of things going on, but I will say, like, the last sort of 5-6 years, perimenopause has really hit me. And so I'm just wanting to sort of use this as a kind of like a video diary, I guess, of how I'm trying to get a little bit back on track, but also to make sure that I am good for the next 25 plus years.
Plus,
that's really what it is.
With all our videos, there's always an element of us wanting to help other people with what we know and passing it on. So that'll apply to that as well, won't it?
So just take this moment to subscribe, tell you to subscribe, because that's coming up, and also hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of that.
Yeah.
Should you be interested, obviously, I'm not going to force you to watch me. You don't have to. So anyway, what does our routine look like now that we have had a conversation? Now we know that we want to have separate things to do.
Yeah. Well, I've always been pretty good at waking up early.
Yeah.
Though it can easily become quite a struggle to do that, especially because it gets it doesn't get light here now until
and the
nearly
clocks
7
are going to
o'clock.
change.
And the clocks are
going
to change as well. So I'm going to get an Anglepoise lamp, I think, to put over my desk.
But in the main, he's up before I am.
Yeah.
Not at 5 o'clock. More around 7:30ish.
Yeah.
And then we've kind of agreed that we're going to make sure that morning time is carved out for your writing.
Yeah.
That in that time, I will come to out of my coma. The other reason I sleep late is because I don't sleep all that well, which I will talk about in my solo thing a bit. So when I wake up, he does have a bit of a break, don't you? We have a bit of a chat, but then you go back to it. But the point is that I don't have any expectations of his time during that. So around 7 to 12, 8 to 1, depends if you have a bit of a later lie-in, you do stuff. So there's no pull on him away from that activity.
And it's worked out really well so far, hasn't it? Like I said, I'm further into this than I've ever got into anything before, and we'll see if it's any good or not.
Then Mondays we have assigned as our big shop day.
Yeah.
So we normally go out for lunch those days as well, don't we?
Yeah. We try to bridge that gap between the end of the early rush hour and trying to get back before the late rush hour.
School run.
Mainly because of where we are. There's only really one main road in and out, and you don't want to be stuck on that road during rush hour because it really slows things down. But if we get caught, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. And this is when, if you've been following us, this is when we've been trying out all the various different supermarkets and things, isn't it?
Yes. Still some to go.
So we don't always go back to the same place. We're trying. So we've gone to Buxton a couple of times, haven't we? We've done Macclesfield. We're in the sort of Peak District area, aren't we? Starting the Peak District, Goyt Valley. We've done, what is it called? Handforth, yeah. Handforth. We've been into Stockport. We do various things. So this is kind of a bit of our adventure day, isn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah.
It can be. Pardon me.
The exotic world of stock clothes.
Then we also do a small shop on Thursdays, and that is usually just a local one. We either walk. There's a co-op around the corner, isn't there?
And Tesco's in
and
the
a small
opposite
Tesco.
direction.
And the reason we do this is twofold. One is because a lot of fresh stuff goes off here very quickly, doesn't it?
And secondly, we don't have a massive fridge freezer anymore. Like we had two, didn't we, in the US? We had one in the garage and one in the kitchen.
So we just can't put as much away anymore.
Yeah.
So, and we tend to I would say 75% of our shopping is fresh fruit and vegetables, isn't it?
And it's really, I think it's helping with our budgeting as well, isn't
Yeah.
it? Breaking it down. We're not getting,
Yeah.
because with the bulk buy, there's things that you forget about in the back of the fridge, isn't
That's
there?
true. And I will say that this also helps us because, you know, we've always done meal planning. We've always worked to a budget. But now that we meal plan with them, with knowing that some certain foods are going to go off, I think we have less food waste as well, don't we?
Yeah.
Because we make sure that we use up everything
Mm.
and only get in what we need because we know we can then pop out to the shop later on in the week.
That's right.
I tend to exercise at least 3 times a week. Again, I will not bore you with all that now. If you're interested, you can follow my new series that's coming up soon. But I just do that in front of the TV. I use YouTube videos. I use weights and things. And that's kind of nice because I can do everything in my own time.
Yeah.
I can cool down in my own time. I can make a smoothie. I can go from a shower. I'm not rushed. I have done gym things in the past, but I feel like you're kind of rushed to get in and rushed to get out. So this is kind of nice. And again, I do it 3 times a week. I try to stick to the same days, but if I don't, if I'm feeling tired, if I feel like I'm not up for it, I can always switch a day. There's nothing crazy, you know, that's fixed there. And then we have the usual chores. But again, we don't have to do everything in one go like we used to.
Yeah, I mean that used to be a weekend thing to do the cleaning in our house in the US. And that would take a while because, you know, there was only 2 of us and 2 cats, but it was a fairly big house, wasn't it?
It was a bigger house, so yeah.
Compared to, it was 2,000 odd square feet plus 3 bathrooms, wasn't there?
3 bathrooms. We didn't use all 3 at the same time.
That's extravagant now, but we had 3. And so we're now in a 2-bed, 2-bathroom flat.
Yeah, like it takes you half an hour to vacuum everywhere, doesn't it?
To clean the bathrooms and do the vacuuming, if it's more than half an hour, then I've had a break in the middle.
And then from a laundry perspective, again, I would get all of that done at a weekend. But we had like a 7-kilo washing machine and tumble dryer
as well. Yeah.
We don't have that here. We don't even have a tumble dryer right now.
Yeah.
So we have to do smaller loads more often to be able to air dry it and hang it out and things like that. So again, there's no rush, but I think it's helpful for us to have a few of these activities already set so that we have a little bit of purpose built into most days.
Yeah.
But still the flexibility to have like visit friends and family, which we've done.
If we wanted to go out for a pub lunch somewhere, we could do that.
Yeah,
it's not going to affect anything.
All the GP appointments that we seem to have. We've hit that age where it seems the doctors are really interested in us.
Oh, how we laughed at your parents with their massive calendar with all the dates put on it. And oh dear.
I must have been to the GP 5 times now.
Yeah.
And you've been 3, 4 times?
Twice.
We keep getting letters from them.
Oh, no, 3. No, you're right. 3 times. Because they dropped something off, didn't they?
We keep getting letters from them. They keep wanting us to poop in a box.
Yes. They're very keen on that, aren't they?
What I found, because I just went yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. You went the day before.
Yeah.
I just went yesterday, and it seems that they don't like the NHS. She said, the nurse just said outright, the NHS doesn't like tests that were done anywhere else. So it doesn't matter if you've just done, like, Paul had a colonoscopy in America, and that's supposed to last 10 years. They're still going to harass him to poop in the box. I had, blood tests done just before we moved, but again, they don't carry over. So
Mm.
if you are moving back and you have medical records, they might help. That might help because you have given some data to your doctor, haven't you?
I forgot. I've got the link to send it, but I haven't done
Right.
it yet. Yeah.
But they tend to want their own data. So just
Yeah.
be prepared that you are going to get contacted quite a lot initially if you sign up at a new GP.
Yeah. So the fourth thing, sorry, not the fourth thing. The fourth thing we were going to mention was the relationship dynamics between ourselves, and the initial expectation when we were planning this was that we'd have more time together. But
Well, to be honest, we are quite a close couple anyway. We, especially in the last sort of 8 to 10 years, we have
Yeah.
worked together as well, haven't we?
That's true, yeah.
So it's not as if we had crazy separate lives, and some couples work that way and they work perfectly fine. As we said earlier, this kind of got us into trouble a little bit because we did want some separate time, didn't we?
Yeah, and it's difficult to say that sometimes to your person that you love, because you don't want to hurt their feelings, and you're not hurting the feelings. You just ask them, and they'll say, "Yeah, sure, don't mind." But you build so much expectation into it, don't you?
And that's the thing, isn't it? That's why we struggled initially. I think before we sat down and made the plan.
Yeah.
Especially about my exercising and you having that time to write, is because we actually weren't doing those things, and then we were getting frustrated that we weren't getting to do the things that we'd been planning on for the past 2 years and looking forward to, and then we were getting frustrated with each other, and it wasn't anybody's fault.
Yeah.
It was just a miscommunication, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's all right doing the planning, but then you get to that point that you've been looking forward to, and suddenly you still hankering for a bit of structure and stuff. But never mind. So we kind of went into that in the previous.
We figured it out, and we still have time together. I mean, once we get through what we want to do, which is I'd say from
it's like the
morning into the
mornings,
mid-afternoon sort of thing. And the thing is where we live right now, we are kind of in the same room. We just have different sections of the room.
Yeah.
You sit there and you have your earpods in when I'm doing my exercise and things. So, we are kind of separate, but we are still together.
Yeah.
But we still have our evening meals together. We still go for walks together. We still watch TV together. Yeah. In America, we had 3 TVs, but we only ever watched the same TV together, did we?
I know.
So now we're just stuck with one.
Yeah.
So I would say I think we found the balance. The balance between the separate time and the couple time, haven't we?
I think so.
Yeah. So that brings us to our last section, 5, yes.
5.
Which is that this is still a new thing for us. Like, we're still really only 2.5 months maybe into this trial retirement.
Yeah.
And so what we're saying now might actually change.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a learning process, and we've learned a few things as we've gone on. Some things have come to us very, very easily, and some things have been a bit of a struggle. But that's that's the nature of life, isn't it?
And I go back to saying we were really good at the planning and the saving the money. We weren't so good when it came to the actual doing of it. Yeah. So I think I know I'm saying this because obviously this is our lives. This is specific to us, but we've been teaching for a long time. And as teachers, your whole day is scheduled for you.
Yeah.
Completely scheduled for you.
Yeah.
Not just like when you start the day and when you end the day, but when you can go to the loo.
Yeah.
When you have lunch, how long you have for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
In America, we only had 25 minutes for lunch, which just isn't enough time to actually eat food properly, like a human being. It's the same. When I was teaching in the UK, it's very prescribed, but it's in America. It just seemed that as soon as you hit school, it was just a blur, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, depending on how your day was structured. I mean, a couple of years back, I had 2 planning periods. I had first period planning and final period planning, and the day would go like that. It was crazy fast, and that whole year shot by.
And the thing is, it may sound good, and again, versus UK teaching, having planning time every single day is absolutely brilliant. Don't get us wrong. But there's just so much, and everybody knows this if you're a teacher, there's just so much that you are responsible for that you get really good at squeezing every single minute, being productive every single minute. Whether you're actually physically doing something or mentally doing something, it drains you, doesn't it? It drains you.
I mean, it was hard work. You'd feel it at the end of the day that you know.
Yeah.
No, I used to have a nap, didn't I, at the end of the day because I was knackered.
And you'd be amazed at what I can squeeze into 10 minutes. The things that I could do in 10 minutes. But even after the day's done, I would, and the same thing with you. We'd be sitting there trying to relax, having a cup of tea. Just in an ad break, I would be thinking about lesson planning. Or something would catch you on the TV or something, and you think, "Oh, that's a good idea," and it put something into your mind.
You're always on.
Yeah. So going from that into all of this freedom was really quite a shock to the system, wasn't it?
I don't know about you, but there's times now when I'm still watching things and I think, "Oh, that would be good to put into a lesson plan." And I'm thinking, you don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
Just a little side story as well is that we have had we know anecdotal evidence, or not evidence, but anecdote, shall we say, of people who have left the teaching profession, who have gone into a different sector of work.
Oh yeah.
And their boss comes along and says, "Right, here's your to-do list." And 2 days later, they go back to the boss saying, "Right, I've done all that." And they're like, "No, that was your weekly to-do list, not just 2 days."
Yeah.
We're so programmed to just get things done, just get it done, because there's always something else to do in teaching.
All your planning and grading done in the 2 sections.
It's
a good motivator, but
so that has meant that going into all of this freedom has felt very strange. It's very odd now to feel restless, to feel bored.
I don't want to compare us to someone who's been institutionalized. But there is a certain, little bit of that, isn't there, about it? Suddenly not being bound by time.
I think,
and other people's expectations.
Expectations, And I think for me, not being productive, that's what I have found quite tricky. Like not having to. So I make things to do for myself, don't I?
Whereas I slipped it on like an old pair of trousers. It fits very, very easily.
So like I have to do the budget. I have to look at this. I have to research that. I have to figure this out. I kind of give myself things to do because I'm slowly adjusting to feeling okay.
You're getting a lot better at it than you were before.
So I think that leads us into a bit of advice, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
So if you are somebody who's thinking of doing a retirement, or maybe just starting out in retirement,
or just taking some time off to see if you could handle it.
Yes. We do have a little bit of advice.
Yeah.
The first one is give yourself permission to be lazy. It is perfectly fine to sit there staring out the window, watching the birds fly by, having a cup of tea or coffee, and not having to do anything, or not having to think about something. Yes, it is okay. It is difficult, as we've just been saying, to do that, but it is a necessary part of this recalibration of your life, of going from working to other things. We'll talk about that a bit more.
Secondly, communicate with your loved ones. Tell them what your expectations are for the time that is suddenly on your hands. If you want to go and work down your allotment and grow fruit and veg, let them know. Let them know that you want to spend time doing that, and that's what you want to do. More than likely, they're going to encourage you and tell you, it's your time. You do what you want to do, but don't hold back, feeling reticent that you're being selfish.
Right. Yes, that's what it is. It's make sure that you, both or all of you, however many are there, are safeguarding some time to do the things that you want to do, that you have been putting off and putting off and putting off and putting off.
Yeah.
Like it's perfectly normal to want to have a bit of time to yourself, but if you don't communicate that, people might, in both ways. Like, you know, Paul wanted his time. He didn't tell me how much he wanted. So I'm sitting there thinking, you're not doing what you said you wanted to do. Whereas he's sitting there going, I just don't have the time to do what I want to do. It's both ways, isn't it? Both of you have misconceptions. So communicate. Missed this bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Based on that, then you can make your routine.
Yeah.
As we said, you don't need a massive routine. You don't need to plan every minute of every day. But we call them little anchor activities, our shopping days,
Yeah.
our little anchor activities. Yeah. These things that we know at least
have to be done, but there's no
rush in
to
doing
do it.
them,
Yeah.
but at least we know that this is the day that we're going to do that.
Yeah. What now? Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, sorry about this. Went off script then. Oh yes, of course. Now I think this applies to both of us really in our particular situation. Is that we might have retired from work, but it doesn't stop you from learning new things. You might have stopped doing what you used to do, but if you want to do something new, or try something new, or learn something new, there's nothing to stop you.
Or take the skills you already have and put them into something
exactly.
new. Yeah. Paul in his writing, he's doing lots of research to help you with your writing.
Yeah.
I'm doing a ton of research to help me figure out the best, you know, steps to move forward with a healthier lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we still have the skills of being teachers and planning things and understanding and taking apart lots of pieces of information. We've just shifted how we're using those skills, haven't we?
The fourth bit of advice would be everybody's an individual and everybody wants to do different things. Don't base your retirement on what somebody else is doing.
Yeah.
Don't have the expectations that you should do what they're doing because they're different to you.
Lots of people are going to have advice. We're giving you advice. But what we're saying is that you don't have to have a retirement that looks like anybody else's retirement.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do want to travel. Lots of people, you know, they as soon as they retire, they go off around the world. And we do want to travel, but we know that we've retired early in our lives, so we still have time to work on that, don't we?
Yeah, there are certain steps we need to take first before we get to that level. But we know what we want to do, and we know that's just something that we're looking forward to in the future.
Our retirement right now is actually based on enjoying the ordinary.
Yeah.
Enjoying the small, slow moments, not the big tick off the bucket list moments.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
But
right now, this is sort of leads into the last one, which is like, this is a transition time, isn't it? Yeah. None of what we're doing now has to be permanent.
No.
We can change things as we see fit. But knowing that we're in our transition time, we think it's actually really important to give yourself that time.
Yeah. It's given us time to experiment, to see what works and what doesn't work, and what we enjoy and what we don't enjoy.
And it's also that time to, I don't know, there's a lot of people that I know that have gone from retirement, like working, and then all of a sudden they've just gone into this busy life of volunteering or working with helping out with family or traveling or playing. You know, they've gone from one busy environment into another busy environment.
Yeah.
And some people like that. Some people need that.
And they need that.
We felt that we needed this transition time because we, in the last 10 years, if you've been watching any of our videos, have gone through a lot of change, a lot of different things, emotions, grief, COVID, all manner of things. And because of our busy, hectic lives, have really kind of pushed that all to one side and not necessarily felt everything that we needed to feel.
Yeah.
And so we thought, I definitely do. I'm going to speak for him anyway. We firmly believe that you need this transition time to look after your mental health.
Yeah, exactly. most people in our position are usually a lot older in life, aren't they? They're looking at the mid to late 60s, early 70s. We're very lucky and very fortunate that we have the ability to try this earlier.
Right.
And maybe, we'll want to do something new.
Right. We may find after 6 months or even 4 months, we're going stir crazy and we do want to go back out into the world of work, or we do want to volunteer, or we do want to learn a foreign language. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just having this time and knowing that there's no demands being put upon this time,
Yeah.
external demands.
That's right.
And there's no worries, the basic needs. We have the funds to cover the basic needs. And it gives us that time to catch up on everything that we've kind of just
put to one side.
Yeah, pushed away.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't the time, the energy to deal with it.
That's right.
So yeah, I really do feel that and we know, as Paul said, we know we are privileged in being able to do this at a younger age.
We feel very lucky.
We feel very lucky. But the one thing that started all of this journey, started this YouTube channel, was that we were unhappy in our life in America.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to just take all of that unhappiness and just move to a different country and continue that unhappy life. Yeah, we didn't want to just shift all of that unhappy life from America to England and just keep going as we were.
Be miserable in another country.
Yeah. So we knew, and we still continue to know that we need time to figure it out. So this is still a work in progress, isn't it?
It is indeed. It is indeed. And we'll keep you informed of where it's going.
Right. And we're just glad that you're along for the ride. So if you have any questions, if you have any
you might have a similar experience. You might be doing the same thing.
If any of this resonates with you in any way, please share it with us, because this is a platform that we wanted to put together to help people in a similar situation, and we'd love to hear from you. We just always enjoy hearing from you. But we're out of tea. So it's time to go and get some more. I have a little dribble left. But please, as we said, share this with anybody who you think may find it useful. I will let you know when I'm coming out with my solo series. And until such times, enjoy your tea and your biscuits. Cheers.
Take care and bye for now.